Hello everybody, my name is Daniel, and today I'm going to be walking you through building an augmented reality app using Unity and AR Toolkit. For those of you who don't know, AR Toolkit is a framework that helps you build augmented reality applications. They have plugins for Unity, iOS, and Android. Today we're going to be using the Unity plugin, and then we're going to be building that to an Android device. So some of the things AR Toolkit helps you do is track these markers here. These square markers with encoded patterns in them, and use that to represent virtual objects in the world, such as your little characters. This is a project that we worked on with some of these markers, and here's some of the things that you can do with AR Toolkit. And then you can interact with some of that virtual content, like scaling it, rotating it, and moving it around. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to get that showing up on your device, how to scale it, and how to rotate it. Some of the things you're going to need before we get started in the development the first thing you're going to need is Android Studio. So if you just Google search Android Studio, you can go here and go download, and then accept their things, and then this will take you to the download. It'll walk you through the process. It's very easy, so I'm not going to do that. It's a pretty big download. But what that does is it gives you the Android SDK, which Unity uses to build the Android application and install it onto your device. So you'll need to do this. And it'd be better if you do this first before installing Unity, so that Unity can detect that Android SDK whenever it gets installed. So the next thing you're going to need is Unity. So you'll just Google search Unity. It'll be the first link. Then we'll say get Unity. Just do the personal one. And then accept all that, and it'll walk you through it. Like I said, that one as well is a very easy download process. It'll take you through the installation and everything. I've already gone ahead and installed that, so you don't have to sit here and watch me do that. But I haven't done anything to my Unity installation, so it is very basic, and you'll be able to see the whole process of that. So the last thing we need is AR Toolkit itself. So we'll get it from the GitHub of AR Toolkit, which I'll link that in the description. But once you get here, we'll go to clone or download, and then we'll download the zip file. We'll stick that on our desktop. Okay, now that that's downloaded, we'll go ahead and extract that out of the zip file. Just stick it right there on the desktop as well. And what we're going to be needing out of this is the Unity package that will import into our Unity project. So here we are. So I'll go here, and this right here is the Unity package. And so I'm just going to drag that onto my desktop. And that's what we'll be importing into the Unity project. So now we'll start up a new Unity project. We'll go new. And we can call it anything we'd like. So let's call it first AR app. We'll just stick that in documents. Okay, so now that we're in Unity, you'll see your project right here. It has nothing in it right now, but that's where we will drag our Unity package here to import it. So we'll just drag it right into this project folder. I'll ask you to import everything. And then sometimes you'll get this error. This one is just, it's saying that it can't access some of the things it needs to copy over, but it's not anything we need, and it's just extra stuff for the VR. So we don't actually need that. So let's reopen that. And from what I've seen, that comes up on every installation, every time you import it, but then you just reopen it and you're perfectly good to go. So now we'll have the AR Toolkit here. Within that, we have some example scenes that we can pull up and check if it's working. So what we're going to need to do is print out the marker that it's set to detect so that you can test it working. So if you just go to Google and you type in AR Toolkit Hero Marker, HIRO, and it'll give you this. And this is the very first default marker that AR Toolkit has in its sample scenes for you to use. So we'll just go to one of the images. You'll just want to go here and download this, print it off on a paper, and then you can use that for your marker. And I'll show you how to get that working. Okay, so now that we're back here, I'm not going to take you through that simple scene, the sample scenes that it has here. I'm actually going to take you through building your own scene from scratch. You can install these to your device and play around with them and see how they work as well. They're really good resources to figure out how some of the features in AR Toolkit work. But for now, let's go ahead and build our very own scene from scratch. So go to Create, New Scene, we'll call it Main Scene. We'll jump over to that one. So you have your main camera and your directional light. So we'll right click, create empty, and we're going to call this one AR Toolkit. We're going to do the same thing, make an empty game object, and we're going to call this one Scene Root. So on AR Toolkit, we're going to want to drag over some of these scripts from the AR Toolkit scripts. And so what we'll need is we'll need this AR controller. So we'll click on that, drag over this AR controller, and then we'll drag over this AR marker. And this marker represents one of the patterns that the AR Toolkit will recognize. So as you see right here, we have it set to the square, and then the pattern hero, the same thing we printed out just a minute ago. You can call this anything you would like. We'll call it marker 0, 1. And then we'll move over to the scene root. So the scene root is going to need this AR origin. We'll actually need to rotate this by 90 degrees. And then we're going to put our main camera and our directional light inside. On our main camera, we're going to add the AR camera component. So just drag that over. We don't need to do anything with it. It just needs to have it. And within this scene root, we're going to create one more empty game object, and we're going to call it our marker. This is going to be the actual marker that it tracks here. So what we'll do is we'll drag over AR tracked object. And this right here, this marker tag, is going to be the same thing that from this AR marker. So we'll just copy that over to our marker and paste that in. And it should say yes right here if it's the same thing and it detects it. So within this, it'll show up here. And as you see right there, there's our marker that it'll detect. So what we're going to want to do really quick is add a cube to that. So we'll go new 3D object, cube. We'll scale it way down to 0.1. So 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Then we're going to drag it up just a little bit. So we'll save that. So then the last thing we'll need to do is we'll need to go to the scene root. This default layer, we'll want to add a layer. So we'll go to layer, add layer. And we're going to call this AR background. Then we'll go back to our scene root and we'll put everything within the scene root onto that layer. And we'll say, do you want to do this to all the children objects? So everything here, and we'll select yes. So then we'll go to our main camera. We're going to go to this culling mask, And first we'll select nothing, and then we will select AR background. So we want to save all that. Everything's set up. So the last thing we're going to need to do is set up our project to be able to build to our Android device. So we'll go to File, Build Settings, click on Android, switch platform. Now that it's switched over, we'll go to hit player settings. The only thing we're going to need to do in this is we're going to need to change this string right here. This is the default string that it has as the package name, and we just need to change it to something that's unique. So what I usually do is come right here at the very end, and I'll change that to the name of our project. First AR app. Save that. Then we click build and run. And this is going to ask for the name of your project for the Android application to build it. And so we'll just call that the same thing as our project. We'll save it. And this is going to build it over to our device. Okay, so now that that's done, go back. Okay, so what I've done is I've created a screen recording of that build that we just made, and I brought it in from my Android device. So here it is, and it shows up right on top of our marker here. And you can see as we turn it around, it'll move. Okay, so there's our first one. And so what we'll do now is I'll show you just a little bit about how to put something else here, and then how to scale and rotate your virtual content using gestures from your device. So first, let's go to the asset store. And you can download anything you want. You can put anything you want in there. Something that I really like is this low poly earth. This one right here. Oh, let's actually change this price to free. This one. So I actually like to use this one. It's kind of nice with augmented reality. So we'll just import that into our project. So now that we have that, we'll go back to our scene. And what we're going to do is switch out this cube for that earth that we just imported. So here's the low poly earth, and here's the prefab for it. And so we'll want to drag out this prefab here, stick it under our marker, change that layer to the AR background, delete our cube, scale down our earth way down. So I think I made it. Oh, sorry, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, and then we'll zero it out. Move it up just a little bit. Let's make it a little bit smaller. maybe a little bit bigger than that. 0.05, 0.05, 0.05. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks really good. And so the next thing we'll do is we need one more thing from the asset store, and that's Lean Touch. Lean Touch. What that is, it's a library that somebody wrote that helps you recognize gestures on a touch screen. So for all like smartphones and tablets, and it has some really cool default scripts to help recognize those gestures and do things with your content. So I'll import that in really quick. Good, I made it back up. Okay, so now that that's in, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new game object. We're going to call it Lean Touch. Back to our scene. This Lean Touch, we're going to do add component. We can type in Lean Touch here. That'll be under right here under this Lean Touch scripts, and you'll find it right here if you need it there from there. And so then the next thing we'll do is we'll go to our little world. We'll go to add component. And so Lean Touch has some default components to help you do things like scale and rotate different game objects. So we'll go to Lean Rotate, add that in. What we're going to do is we're going to change it to our y-axis, so it rotates around our y-axis instead of our z-axis. And then the next thing we'll want to add really quick is Lean Scale. Lean Scale will help you scale up this, which is pretty cool. I will make that required finger count for 2 so that it knows what you're trying to do. Okay, so now that we have all that in, let's go ahead and save and build that again. Okay, so I've done the same thing with this one. I just installed it onto my Android device. I took a quick little screen recording of that, and then I dragged it in here to show you. I apologize for the low resolution on these videos. The Android device that I have actually has a pretty bad camera on it. It's a little bit older. But you can see right here we have our world, and we're scaling it up and down and rotating it. And then you can see that I'm scale it all the way up. And then I rotate that around a little bit. And there we go. We have our very first augmented reality app using Unity, an AR Toolkit. I'd like to make another video for y'all showing how to build that to an iOS device. So you can look forward to that next.